What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Snapper Gaming channel, and welcome back to UNPL Week 2. This week we are taking on Ruppy, the coach of the Columbus SWU, and we are in for a really fun match. Before we jump into it, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. And before we jump into the actual match itself, we're going to do a quick team builder, but of course, if you want to skip ahead, there will be a timestamp down below. Now, Ruppy and I played back in Season 3, and he did beat me then, and so I want to get my revenge. However, he's not making this easy with this very strong-looking team that he has built this season. With Iron Valiant, Raging Bolt, and Scizor, he's got a pretty nasty Fairy Dragon Steel core, along with the Sun option of Torkoal and Lilligant. Filling in those gaps, we have Skeledirge as a nice wall, Mamoswine as a nice offensive option, and then we've got Terra Gyarados, possibly one of the strongest Terra mons that we have in this format, and also Chimecho, which also needs to be respected. So what are we going to bring against such a threatening team? Well, I think that we need to bring somebody that we left on the bench week 1, and that is Sableye. Sableye looks really great into my opponent's team, being able to set up screens and spread the yellow magic with Thunder Wave. So we're running a physically defensive set this week, mainly for Scizor, just so that we can take that hit and then survive it and make sure that we can get up a screen on the next turn, if it's you turning out, bullet punching, whatever it happens to be. We can of course knock items off if we need to as well, but I would imagine that we are probably going to be setting screens and getting out most of the time, and possibly thunder waving things if something like the Valiant happens to come in. Next up, Glimmora, but we're not running this typical Glimmora set. We are running something really fun. We are running it with the Power Herb this week. I wanted to try out its new tech with the Meteor Beam, as it now gets it with the new DLC, and it seems like a lot of fun. With 168 speed and timid nature, after one rock polish, we actually do outrun an Iron Valiant after booster, so that's really cool. And we of course get a +1 boost whenever we click Meteor Beam. Meteor Beam is going to OHKO most of his team, so it's pretty much a free kill as long as we get that move off. Things like the Torkoal, I believe Skeledirge, as long as it's not fully Spadef, will go down. Scizor is going to go down. Most of the team is going to drop to that first Meteor Beam, and then we also have Earth Power for things like that Raging Bolt, Sludge Wave of course for things like the Iron Valiant. Next up, Choice Banded Palavin. We want this thing to hit incredibly hard, and boy does it. We have the Jolly 176 speed. This is going to outspeed most of his team, or at least what we naturally have more speed than anyway, pretty much everything but Valiant. And so we of course have Wave Crash for the most damage possible, Close Combat, Ice Punch, and then Flip Turn in order to get out of there. Probably going to use that in order to make sure that we can switch around a little bit to make sure we get our Zero to Hero activated, but a really fun set nonetheless. Also coming off the bench is Torterra. While we don't have access to Terastallization, Torterra is still a really fun threat. With the Shell Armor, we can't be crit, and with the Assault Vest, we are very bulky. We've got max HP and then a lot of Spadef on this. This is really a great Raging Bolt check. There's really not a whole lot that it can do to this, and of course Earthquake can be fired back to deal a lot of damage. Stone Edge of course there to catch that Gyarados if it switches in. Crunch and Heavy Slam of course for nice coverage. Heavy Slam of course being for the Valiant if that were to be something that we need to take a hit from. All around a really nice special wall. Next up, Kingdra, and Kingdra, you'll notice, is not Swift Swim this week, but in fact we are Sniper Scope Lens. You thought I'd wait till later in the season to do something like this, but no, we're bringing it week 2. We actually aren't bringing rain at all this week. I'm letting my opponent win that weather war because I would rather just fire off Dracos and not have to worry about the Spatak drops. So we have Terra Fairy in order to take on that Raging Bolt. Terra Steel was also considered, but I think it's better to keep it like this because then it has a better matchup into Iron Valiant. We have enough speed to outspeed anything that would naturally underspeed us, and then we have Focus Energy with the Scope Lens. What this does is it guarantees that we will crit every single turn, and if you don't know, whenever you take a drop in your special attack or attack stat, normally of course you would lose power, but when you crit, that drop is ignored. So we can fire off Draco Meteors all we want. It doesn't matter if we're -6, as long as we're guaranteed critting, then we are going to be hitting just as hard as if we were at neutral. Hydro Pump of course for coverage, and a sneaky little Weather Ball here for if my opponent sets up the Sun and wants to go into Scizor, then this Weather Ball will cook that thing. Finally, we have SERVINE. Yes, we are bringing the baby Superior week 2. This thing actually has a decent matchup, and here's why. Gyarados is my opponent's Terra Captain, and to me, I don't see an offensive Gyarados being all that great. I think he's going to bring something like Terra Steel, just something bulky. In which case, SERVINE cooks it, and that's really cool. We of course have Synthesis, which gets boosted in the sun by how much we can heal. Leaf Storm, of course, doubles our special attack the first time we use it, and of course it goes to ×3 and ×4 times every time we use it. If we want to Stellar Terra, we can. We likely will not do that unless Kingdra like dies early game for some reason, but we've got Terra Blast on there as well, and then the Glare tech in order to paralyze our opponents. So that's our squad for this week 2. I hope you guys are excited for the match. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, here we go, jumping into week 2. We actually got to the none option in the music this time. It might sound a little bit different this week. I might be echoing a little bit. I'll try to fix it in post as much as I can. This is my first match in my new house, and so I am trying to work out the kinks of that. I can't hang up my my shells, I guess, on the wall to reduce some sound just yet until we paint, but yeah, we're just gonna make it work as best we can. This week I have not been able to really prep with anybody on anything, so we'll see how this goes. I mean, what he brought, I mean, nothing here is really surprising as far as what we're seeing, but yeah, I've done no mocks. I've barely had a chance to look at anything, so it's gonna be interesting for sure. I brought a weird team this week. I didn't bring weather, so I'm giving the weather war to my opponent here, which, you know, might end up biting me. I'm also giving hazards to my opponent, so I assume that my opponent's gonna just lead with the Torkoal. So I mean, I guess I could lead with this instead, but I wanna go ahead and activate the Palafin right off. I don't wanna be in a situation where I end up with baby Palafin at the very end, because that would be really, really bad. So I hope you guys are liking these. Of course, week 1 went up a week ago, and of course that'll be up in the iCard for you to check out. But yeah, Ruppy, we've got actually Scizor lead. Okay. Ruppy and I have a bit of a we played last season, and he beat me on a crit, and that was not the best way to go out. So I'm hoping that this time around we do a little bit better. I mean, I'm faster here. He probably goes for U-turn, but I'm just gonna flip turn out here because I don't want to deal with this. I'm faster, so, and I can take a bullet punch. So yeah, we'll just flip turn, get it. I mean, that's a decent chunk. That probably gives away that I am banded, but that's fine. I just want to make sure that we are activated and ready to go for later. So I mean, my switch in for this is non-existent. I really can't go into this just because this is my late game cleaner. I guess we'll go into the Sableye here, and we can go ahead and get some screens going. We're max physical defense, so we can take it decently well. It's not great, but we can take it. And so now my opponent gets to kind of go into whatever he wants to. This kind of does discourage the Torkoal if my opponent thinks I might have Taunt. So that could be good. My opponent does not have a Dark type, so that was one thing in prep when I was looking at my opponent's team. There's nothing that's immune to Prankster, so I don't have to necessarily worry about that, which is nice. So I don't know what my opponent really wants to go into. I could paralyze something if he wants to go into like the Valiant or something really really strong, or even the Gyarados. Definitely could paralyze that. That would definitely help out with that. Gyarados is a huge threat with Terra now. What is this? Raging Bolt. Okay, that's fair. I can just set up a light screen here. Yeah, I can set up a light screen pretty easily. Probably go for like a T-Bolt or a Draco or something like that. with the screen, I would imagine that I can probably take one. I would imagine I can. And then after this, we could always go into Kingdra and get set up, just because we're going to be immune to the Thunderclap if he wants to go for that, and we go for our Focus Blast. Yeah, so there's the Dragon Pulse. We take that decently well. I don't really have a straight switch in to this. I mean, I guess I could go into this. I'm AV. I'm meant to take this. I'm okay with not getting Reflect up just yet. It might have been good to go ahead and get that up, but I can save this for later in case I need late game screens. That might be good, but I should be able to eat this up pretty good. Yeah, that does nothing. So good job, Torterra. So what do you go into here? I don't think you stay in. I don't think there's any way that you stay in here. Expecting ground move, probably either Electros or the Electros or Gyarados. I could just go for a Stone Edge here. Yeah, we'll go for that. I don't think you stay in. I don't think there's any world in which you stay in here, just because you're dealing 0 damage, and so you're gonna have to go into something that's off the ground. Gyarados seems a little less likely. It's probably Electros if I were to guess, but we'll see. Wrath. I don't know what that is. It's actually the Gyarados. Okay, come on. Intimidate. Okay, well that sucks. Come on. That did nothing. That did nothing. Yeah, you're bulky. That did 0. Okay, well, you know, we got the prediction right, and it didn't really do a whole lot, but that's okay. That's all right. We don't really want to stay in on this, and this is his Terra Captain. I believe I need to double check his Terra options because I didn't check them beforehand, so that's fun. Let's see, what does he have here? I could switch back into this, or I may want to get a free switch into that just to make sure that I get my Reflect up. Let's see, Flying, Ground, and Steel are the Terras this week. I'll swap this back in, I guess. It's not great, but he could always go for a Dragon Dance or something, but I think he's just bulky this week. He's probably Terra Steel, if I were to guess. There's the Iron Head. Yeah, we do live, which is great. So that's pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for the Reflect here. That way we're taking a lot less damage from that, because oh, and we actually live. Good job. Good job, Sableye. You're killing it right now. You're doing a great job. I mean, we could always go into this, but I mean, as long as he's not Terra, then we don't do that great, I guess. Again, I don't think you've got a flying move. I don't think so. So I'm gonna keep this as death fodder slash, if he doesn't get any hazards up, then we could possibly exploit it later. But we'll go into Servine here. Look at Servine. Look at that little guy. Earthquake. We should be able to take that. Yeah, we take that really well. Good job, Servine. We're a Violate, so that helps out a lot. I'm just gonna fire off a Leaf Storm. I don't know why I don't. I could Glare here, but I think I just Leaf Storm. That didn't do much, but that's okay. What do we got? T-Wave? Okay, I mean, that's fine. We could always do the same to you with Glare. This thing was always going to be a huge threat. It was always going to be a problem. And I don't know if my opponent is Terra Steel expecting me to have Terra Fire this week, because that's certainly an option that I had. But we are now at +2, and we can just go for it again. We do have the Stellar Terra on deck if we need it. I'm hoping that we don't, because I would rather Terra the Kingdra. Kingdra just seems better overall, and I'd rather it not get paralyzed, so I would like to be able to deal with this if I can. Yeah, here comes the Terra. Now here's the thing, we could Stellar Terra this and take this out because of the way Terra Blast works. Yeah, there's the Steel Terra, which makes sense. This is exactly what we thought it was going to be. So how much does this do through reflect? Nothing. Okay, he is trying to do Parafusion stuff, or Paraflinch. So now we are +4, which is pretty cool. But is it worth going for the Stellar Terra when we could Terra Fairy our Kingdra? I'm just concerned about Raging Bolt. That's the big thing. I'm concerned about Raging Bolt possibly being an issue. I think I fire off another Leaf Storm. I think I win this exchange just because I do have Synthesis. Yeah, you're not doing much, and I'm breaking through, which is nice. Yeah, so now we're +6, which is good. I think I go ahead and click the Synthesis here just to make sure that I stay healthy. Who knew that Servine would be the one to 1v1 this Gyarados without Stellar Terra? Without going for the Terra. That's the crucial part. But yeah, he just hasn't gotten any of the flinches with the paralysis. This is a very annoying set, but and of course if he starts getting flinches or paralysis, of course this could very much turn the other direction. But so far Servine's kind of holding its own, which is pretty cool. I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. I wasn't sure how much work this Mon was going to put in, but I felt like this might be the matchup for it. Okay, there's the flinch. That's fine. We're just going to click Synthesis until we break 3, just because we do have it, and I want to keep this relatively healthy if possible. Yeah, I mean, my opponent's best play is to just keep clicking Iron Head, although he is stalling out my screens, which is annoying. But yeah, there goes the Synthesis, so we can get our health back, which is nice. I would rather keep this healthy if I can, just because, I mean, it, as you can see, it is somewhat bulky, right? Like, it's actually doing work right now. So I'll click Leaf Storm here. Leaf Storm should KO if we get through this time. If we don't get through, maybe click Synthesis. There's the paralysis. Okay. All right. I mean, in fairness, my opponent is running out of the Leaf Storms. Yeah, there goes the Reflect. So we're going to start taking a lot more damage. I'm going to click Leaf Storm here and hope that we can break through. Yeah, this set is just really annoying. This set's really annoying to deal with. I don't like dealing with the Terra Steel Gyarados. It's rough. But I mean, what are you gonna do? I guess you send out Servine. That's what you do. That's what you do. But I mean, if we can win this 1v1, there we go. We get through. Is this KO? It does. Good job, Servine. Servine actually 1v1ing Gyarados without using up the Stellar Terra is pretty wild. Yeah, I have the Stellar Terra. I could have used it probably at any point and just went ahead and KO'd this thing. But I feel like I'm gonna need the Terra a lot more on my Kingdra. I don't think that I can afford to. I don't think I can afford to Terra this, unless something just crazy happens. But I mean, we're already at +6. We do still have the neutral Terra Blast, which can still deal a lot of damage. If my opponent goes into Torkoal, then he helps out my my Synthesis. So yeah, we didn't bring rain, but we brought a lot of stuff that benefits from the sun, right? Like I have the Weather Ball on Kingdra, right, to bait in the Scizor, and so that's pretty nice. Okay, we go into this. I could click Terra Blast, or I could click Synthesis. I would imagine that this thing's faster than me. I'm gonna click Terra Blast here, just for a neutral something. And we don't live. That's okay. That's okay. Let's see. Trying to keep track of score here. So we could, I think we just go back into this. I don't think there's really any reason why we don't. So yeah, Gyarados is gone. So your ground immunity now is Electros, in which I could just click a neutral crunch into, I think. Stone Edge is also another option. What else does crunch catch? Not really anything, I guess. Yeah, I'll just click crunch here. I don't... stays in for some reason. Okay. Yeah, that does 0. Also leftovers. Okay, so he went like super bulky this week. I mean, if you're gonna let me Earthquake, then I will Earthquake. Because I mean, this really isn't doing much damage to me. You can't paralyze me, you can't do any of that, which seems to be what my opponent was probably going for, is more of a status type of team. This probably has Thunder Wave, if I were to guess. Yeah, the Dragon Pulse kind of gives away that this is more of a bulky, just kind of chip things down, probably spread a little bit of status, which makes sense, right? Because my team my team isn't all that fast, but my opponent's is on average even slower. And so having that speed control is really important. So this type of a team really does make sense. I haven't watched Ruppy's week 1 video. It's not live yet at the time that we are recording this. So I'm not sure what kind of team he brought for that, but I would imagine it's probably something similar. Okay, goes into Scizor. I mean, we'll get a neutral Earthquake off. That's not bad. That's not bad damage. That's not bad damage at all. I think this needs to be kept around. Could sack this, but I feel like I'm gonna need the Reflect later to get through. I think I'll be at, the light screen might be good too. I'm just worried about the Terra Fairy is the taking a bullet punch. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. I could stay in on this as well. Let's click EQ here. Does just go for the U-turn. That hurts a lot. That hurts a lot. Torterra without Terastallization is kind of rough. And he might go Electros here. Yeah, without Terastallization, Torterra is a little rough. Its typing just isn't the best, unfortunately. I do wish that it were just a little bit better. Power line, that's probably Electros. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, my opponent gets that right there, which is unfortunate. I don't know what kind of set this is. It might be like a coil set or something like that. But it is really good into my team, which is kind of rough. So what I think I need to do is probably sack this off, go into Sableye, set up a screen, and then I think we go into Glamora and try to break, and then maybe have Palafin clean up at the end. Possibly. I think that's not a bad play here. Yes, we are faster. Doesn't deal that much damage. It does go for U-turn, so we do get the switch initiative. My opponent, of course, expecting me to keep this, but like I said, I think the Terra Fairy Kingdra can deal with a Raging Bolt, so I'm not as concerned about that thing. So Eel takes out my Torterra. Goes into Furnace. Okay. So this gives me a switch into this, because you might be expecting the taunt. So I think that you might not want to go for rocks here, which is nice. Let's see here. What do we want to do? Do we want light screen or do we want... I think reflect is probably going to end up being better because of the scissor. Just because I don't think the raging bolt is going to be hitting as hard. So I'm going to go for reflect here. But this does threaten the taunt, so I don't know that my opponent is going to want to go for rocks. Yeah, can't really do that here. Okay, so I'm going to go Glamora and start breaking here. That also will stall out the sun some, which is good. You don't have a great switch in on Meteor Beam, so I can go ahead and go for that. Although I don't know if this has a rock move or a ground move. I would imagine that it doesn't. Yeah, I don't think this would carry a ground move on a more bulky set. He does stay in, which is unfortunate. So please, he does have the ground move. Okay, we live. We do live. And click Meteor Beam here. Yeah, so I don't think this lives. I don't think this lives. This is a new tech that it got with the new DLC, so I just really wanted to try it out. And it's gone. Okay, so Torkoal is gone. So we are at +2 speed, and we have +1 special attack. Scizor might come in here, though, is the only thing. If it has the bullet punch, which I would imagine that it likely does. But we'll just have to see what my opponent wants to go for. So you got Torkoal. Okay, it goes into this, which is interesting. So would you have the Thunderclap on this set? Kind of a 50-50 here. I don't need the Rock Polish is the thing, but I don't know if I need to outplay his Thunderclaps here. Because that's the only reason you would bring this in. Right? I'm gonna go for the Rock Polish. Yep. Okay, I figured he would have that. So now we enter the world of 50-50s here, where his son is gone. So that is no longer a thing, which is good. But it's now a 50-50 on whether he clicks Thunderclap and I click Earth Power / Rock Polish. Do I go for it or do I not? It's all a 50-50, so it's just whoever gets lucky here. I'm gonna go for it. He did. All right. It's annoying, but it is what it is. We go Kingdra here. And this is why we saved our Terra Fairy. Are we going to win this game? Probably not, but that's okay. This, like I said, this team is very much under-prepped. So I just did not have a chance to get this team to where I wanted it to be. This is definitely not the set that he's expecting, I'm sure, just because I didn't bring Rain. So we'll see. My opponent might just click the Dragon Pulse here. If so, that's a free turn. If not, we'll just have to see. I should be able to take one hit from the Scizor, I would think. Even once we get set up. But yeah, I mean, my opponent just brought the right team, and I just don't think that I did. and I just didn't have a chance to mock. So it is what it is. But I think Ruppy played well. I don't think there were really any hacks involved. I broke through almost all of those turns with Servine. So I mean, Servine got a kill. That's pretty good, right? That's more than I expected. So we'll absolutely take it. But we're gonna be Terra Fairy this week. So this will make us, of course, immune to the Dragon Pulse. If you want to use Thunderclap, we're neutral to it. But yeah, we are the sniper set this week, which is fun. Okay, so yeah, we're immune to the Dragon Pulse, which is great. So now we just click Draco for free. And what's great about crits, which I talked about this in the team builder, but when you crit, it ignores your stat drops. So me taking that -2 on Dracos is completely ignored. And we do have a 100% chance to crit here because of the combination of focus energy and the scope lens. And then our crits deal even more because of sniper. So yeah, this is a cool set. I think it works well on a non rain team. So yeah, my opponent definitely did not expect this. Definitely not the set that my opponent was wanting to see this week. So it goes into power line just to sack it, I guess. It actually lives, which is interesting. What do I want to do here? I don't want to waste all my Dracos. It's the only thing. Could just click neutral weather ball, but I don't know if that does enough. I'll just click Draco again. Just don't want to miss. That's the only thing. Okay, so Eel is gone, which is nice. We're saving some differential here. So there goes the Reflect. That's the only thing. So now Scizor comes in, which is a little unfortunate, especially since the sun is gone. I brought the Weather Ball specifically for my opponent's sun to be able to deal with that Scizor. Yeah, there it is. I like the Warforged name. That's pretty legit. It's a D&D reference. So I appreciate that. We'll go ahead and click the Hydro Pump here. We should take one, maybe. Maybe we'll see. Probably not well. We do have quite a bit of HP investment. Yeah, we take it. Not well, but we do take it. And we get the Hydro Pump off, so we do get another kill there. Great job. Good job, Kingdra. All right, well, we're saving diff here. We're saving differential. That's all that matters. We didn't bring agility this week. Not that we really would have had a chance to. I mean, I guess we could have set it up when the Eel switched in, but then we would have had to take a hit from Eel and then wouldn't have taken the Bullet Punch. So I think it ended up working out better what we brought. The agility would have probably let us outspeed Valiant. Yeah, speaking of which, there it is. So what do you have left? You have just Valiant and Bolt. Yeah. So of course my opponent is saving the Raging Bolt for Palafin, which makes sense. All I can do here is just let this go down. So yeah, Valiant takes this out. But Kingdra went down fighting. Kingdra went down fighting. That's fine. Okay, Life Orb. Okay. And the thing is, we're choice banded, so no matter what, we guaranteed lose to the thunderclapping. What do you want to call it? I wonder if Ice Punch is enough. I don't know right off. I think that's what I have to go for no matter what, which is unfortunate, but I don't know that one-shots. In fact, I would probably venture a guess that it doesn't. Trying to run a calc really quick. Let's see. Ice Punch. Oh, it does nothing. I'm just clicking Wave Crash. Yeah, it carries the T-Bolt. Makes sense. I live, which is cool. So we'll take this down to a 1-0, which isn't too terrible, honestly. Like, yeah, it goes down, so Falafin takes that down. And we'll probably die to recoil. Yeah, we die to our recoil. But you know what? That's fine. I think I honestly, like, with the amount of prep that I was able to put in this week, which was none, I'll take a 1-0, honestly. After week 1 having one of my worst matchups of the entire season, and I ended up slipping out of that with a 2-0 loss, and then this one being only a 1-0, that's okay because we can come back from this. It is still early in the season, and just a little spoiler, we are making some transactions going into week 3, and I'm really excited to go into those because I think they really help make the team a lot better. So I'm excited to go over those with you next week at some point. So thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry that we lost again, but you know what? I think after these transactions, I think we'll get a better feel for the team and make it just a lot better and try to end the season out on a more positive note. So with all that out of the way, I hope you guys have a great day. We will see you later, and stay safe out there. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.